Hey mates, Blind Prime here, wanting to bring to you today a wonderful, wonderful video. I am going to be talking about something that I am excited about. I have spent the entire weekend working on it. I have been looking into this guy, I have been playing with this guy, and I can't wait to talk to you about this really fun Transformer called RID 2001 Ultra Magnus, the Haslab version. Yeah, the Haslab version. I like him. I like him a lot. So today we're going to be talking about him in depth. I'm going to be discussing him from a blind perspective, to kind of help raise awareness for the blind by showing you, the blind people enjoy the same things the sighted people enjoy, which is including to, but not limited to, really cool car carrying Transformers called Ultra Magnus. I got Sideswipe here, not Sideswipe, Sideburn here as a show of size scaling because he's the only other 2001 vehicle I have in my collection at the moment. And we'll be really just discussing these guys in depth. I'll be talking about his textures and the way he feels in the hand and my overall thoughts and feelings about this. We're going to do this video a bit different because I do know, making a 30-minute video, not everybody wants to watch that entire thing. So before I really start talking about textures and going in to describe it, it's the best description for a blind person that I can do. I will instead give you my overall thoughts and feelings so that if you're a sighted person that doesn't want to wait around the 30 minutes as I discuss everything, then you can just watch it for the first 10 and GTFO if you want. I won't stop you. And I understand. Sometimes that 30-minute video can be daunting, and it's important to have kind of make sure that my sighted subscribers are also satisfied, and that means making sure I do things in a bit of a different order. I'm not going to force you to watch everything just to get my final thoughts and feelings. I know. We're doing it weird today, but we're doing it weird. So we'll go over the size comparisons and those things, and then I'll get into my initial thoughts and feelings, and then we'll go on how this character feels in the hand. We'll do it in this weird way first today. So size comparison-wise, first off, we've got Sideburn here. And Sideburn can park at the very front of this. Of course, we can bring in other Transformers. So we've got Bumblebee, and he can park up here. And who else do we have? Who else? Oh, we've got Bone Crusher. Bone Crusher. Yeah, Bone Crusher. A little off to the side that you can fit Bone Crusher, Bumblebee, and Sideburn all together. Isn't that fun? You can even fit Bumblebee and Sideburn almost next to each other if you wanted to. That's a fun little comparison of what you can fit up there. Now, do I have anything bigger? Do I have anything bigger? Not you. Will you just stand? Thank you. Where were you standing? Oh, you were standing on his guns, which I totally should talk about today. Let's see. Do we have one more? I know I put another vehicle over here for a little size comparison stuff. Oh, yeah, here it is. Let's just... There we go. All right, we've got 86 Prime. Because I know you've all been asking the question, does 86 Prime fit up here? Yes. Yes, 86 Prime does. Yes, 86 Prime does indeed. Though 86 Prime is not meshing well with these lines up here. We'll talk about those in a bit, but there we go. 86 Prime, and then we can put Bumblebee and Sideburn. No, but we could put a Sideburn. Yeah, we could put Sideburn and 86 Prime up here. Isn't that neat? I love this car carrier. I really do. I think it's the best. It is the best. We'll put Prime down here. Prime, what are you sitting on? Nothing? Good. Okay, so that's just a little comparison on those things right there. Let's talk about these guns real quick. And we'll set Sideburn here. There we go. So he comes with two guns, and they go up here, his front area. They're very similar to the guns that came with Siege Ultra Magnus. It really is that Siege, and people said it back when Siege Ultra Magnus came out. And they were like, what are you trying to combine G1 Ultra Magnus and RID 2001 Ultra Magnus? And that's what it kind of felt like they were doing for Siege Ultra Magnus. But Siege Ultra Magnus had those weird big guns on his shoulders. And this guy, RID Ultra Magnus, comes with them as well, but they're fatter. They're not the same. So they're not talking about the missiles. We're talking about these little guns. With Siege Ultra Magnus, there was a little handle on the side, and then they had the siege ports, and you could attach them to the side of Ultra Magnus, And you can do the same with these things. And they rest right past the doorway area, and they thicken up Ultra Magnus quite well, so that he is actually, his front area is about the same thickness as his back area. Without the guns, his front area does seem to be a bit thinner than his back area. They really do help to really make this boy thicken up. I think they really work well. The only negative is they don't like staying in place, because those pegs are barely long enough to handle them. That is kind of a shame. I do wish those pegs are a bit longer. So those are the guns. They are blast effect compatible, by the way, but we'll set them off to the side because, no, wait. One more notice about the guns. They have waffling on the inside of them, which is a crying shame. I mean, like, we paid $300 for this, $350 with the shipping. So I was not expecting any waffling in this, and this waffling here is sad. We didn't really get that with the giant weapons we got with Deathsaurus or Starsaber, but we get that with this weapon, and then it's just sad. It's just sad. So that's my biggest gripe on this guy, next to the pinned in wheels, because these wheels are pinned in. I wish they were screwed in, so it'd be easier for me to take the wheels off and replace them with rubber ones, but oh well. So from the front, this guy has got it. He's got this wonderful looking just feel to him, and he's got that just presence. It's just nice. Okay, I wanted to point that out because that is my favorite part, is the front of this Transformer. But let's bring in 86 Ultra Magnus to kind of give you an understanding of how these guys compare. So 86 Ultra Magnus and RAD Ultra Magnus are the same length. Yeah, they're the same length. I know, isn't that, it's wild, but it's true. Width-wise, I don't think they're the same width. We could check. Can we just... Huh. Do you have anything up here? Oh, neat. We can just... Yeah, so... Here we go. Width-wise, 86 Ultra Magnus wins on the width. But there we go. If you ever wondered, can 86 Ultra Magnus's trailer handle 2001 Ultra Magnus? The answer is yes, it can. Okay. Now, height-wise, Siege 86 Ultra Magnus has it on RID Ultra Magnus, except at the cab area. So the trailer for 86 is taller. The cab for 86 is shorter. Yeah. Now, the other question we have to ask is, we're going to set the trailer off to the side because we are done with size comparison 86. Now, can RID hold the Ultra Magnus? And it can. Now, can it hold Ultra Magnus's cab mode and Optimus Prime's cab mode? Bum, 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 bum. Yes. Yes, it can. That's fun. That's actually, oh wow, that's actually really good. I really like this. I like that it can hold both of their trailer, their cab modes. That's a lot of fun. And we're knocking things over here at Blind_Prime. Sticking with tradition. All right. So that's the little comparisons there. Now we can open it up, and I'll showcase this final little fun play feature where we can open up these back areas here. Each of these ramps folds down, and our friend Bumblebee here can just kind of drive up and in. He just drive in. Now, it's Bumblebee, so he's got a lot of room in there. He's got a lot of room. Let's find somebody who doesn't have so much room. Where is... Aha! Bone Crusher. Can Bone Crusher fit in here? You know, that's a really important question to ask, right? I mean, everybody wants to know the answer to that question. So you gotta first remove his stupid big gun, because I had a big gun on him, and tilt his little canopy thing down, because the canopy thing ain't gonna fit in there. That's too tall. So we gotta tilt the canopy thing down, and then we got to rotate these guys. So we gotta rotate each of these pieces out because he is just a little tall. He's just a little tall. There we go. Rotated those pieces out. And then we can bring him all the way back to the rear area here. Let's stop him. Let's park him the other way with the shovel going forwards, and we'll pick the shovel up slightly so it can go over those siege pegs that are in there. And now we can pick the... Can this thing just kind of raise up? There we go. And now we can close these guys on either side. And, the ramps don't close. Oh, so close. Wait, wait. One more try. One more try. We're going to bring him out. We're going to bring the bucket. We're going to tilt it up as far as it will go. Okay, now we can bring him back in there. He's going to try his best. He's going to try his best to get as close in there as he can. It does work. All right, we're going to tilt these guys off to the side. Can we lock it in place? We locked that one. We locked that one. Now he has a Constructicon imprisoned. Yes! And that was something I wanted to mention to you. I think this was something they never talked about in the show, but I really wish I had, really wish they had brought it up at some point. But capturing a Decepticon inside of this, it's like, he's in a cage. He can't get out unless Ultra Magnus lets him. And he's got so much armor that I don't think this guy could even transform and leave. It's just too confined for him. And Bone Crusher here doesn't make his size smaller, so he's stuck. Like, he's trapped in there. He can't get out. And I like that. I'm like, why didn't they ever use Ultra Magnus's trailer as a prison cell for some of these Transformers? Now to get him out, I do have to turn out these little things that clip, and he can pull out. Now, we can drop down. This is the play feature I wanted to mention. The ramp drops down just so well. And now we can take Bone Crusher here, and he goes up the ramp, and he can park up here at the top, and then the ramp can pick back up. Oh, it makes me so happy. It makes me grin. I think that's fun. I know it's a simple play feature, but it makes me happy. It's a fun play feature. We got a similar play feature with 86 Ultra Magnus, but not as well done as this one. And then we can lock those legs back in place. And once we lock the legs back in place, this all can just kind of fold down, and these ramps rest on top of the locking mechanism for the feet. It really for the ramp, it really comes down very well. So we can remove Bone Crusher here. After, of course, we give you a little comparison of Bone Crusher, how he looks with his shovel down, and he goes, hit the back of his treads with the shovel down, come to the front of the double wheels on the front of Ultra Magnus. So past his single wheel towards his double wheels is how Bone Crusher sizes up. It's a very, very well done, in my opinion. Now, that was the fun play feature I had to talk about, and everything else we will talk about and kind of the blind perspective. But for those of you who are sighted, we're about to get into the Blind Prime's going to start talking about it in depth and with all the textures. And so if you don't want to see that, my final grade for this guy is an S ranking. I absolutely love this Transformer, and I think he is exceptional. An exceptional vehicle mode. Absolutely glorious. This is everything I wanted in RID 2001 Ultra Magnus in vehicle mode. I love this vehicle mode, and I'm very happy that I was able to get it. And it took a lot of work to raise the money for it, but my fundraising is usually successful, so it happened. It wasn't as successful enough for me to buy two of these guys, but it was successful enough to buy one of them. Had it cost less, I may have been able to purchase two. But yeah, those are my initial thoughts and feelings, or after having hands on this guy for a while, this is an S-ranked vehicle mode. And this is top-notch, hands down, exceptional when it comes to vehicle modes. It's sturdy, it stays together. I can pick him up by the back, and his front's good. I can pick him up by his front, and his back's good. Though it's, I don't want to break it, so I won't do that. I won't ever do that again. But weight-wise, about 2 pounds. Plastic-wise, sturdy, high-quality stuff. It feels like this guy is going to last for eternity. And I really hope he does, because I doubt they'll ever make another Ultra Magnus this awesome ever again. So S-ranked all the way. I love it. I think that it's an exceptional vehicle mode. And I recommend, if you have the disposable income to get it, then get it. If you can, I really suggest that you do. I mean, yeah, you'll pay more because of the rates people are selling these guys at. But trust me on this one, he's worth it, in my opinion. So let's get into talking about it now from the blind perspective. So we're going to start from the very rear, and we'll talk about the ramps and then open them up. So these ramps are really well done. They feel like they're really thick armor plates, just kind of stacked on top of each other. And of course, they become shin guards in Omega Prime mode, in knee guards in Ultra Magnus's robot mode. but they come together very nicely. It feels very rugged. It's like if a Transformer and Decepticon tried to ram the back of this guy, it hurt that Decepticon more than it hurt Ultra Magnus. That's how heavy this feels. This just heavy, thick armor. Light-wise, it feels like there's lights on the very edge. We got one circle and two circle and a little rectangle thing. When we have one circle and two circle and a little rectangle thing. I'm assuming those are the lights where my finger is right now. I think that's the light area. Let me know in the comments below if I'm right about that. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Oh well. This skin off my back. I'm blind. I can't see them anyway. I mean, I can see light, but not the lights. So below that, we don't really have much of a bumper for this guy. That is kind of a shame. I think it would have been cool if we had gotten a fold down bumper, but I understand with how everything works and how the transformation works, it's good enough. Coming over here to the side, pinned in wheels, which is a shame, but these wheels do have a great texture to them. We get some rough texture on the bottoms for the wheels, and then on the sides, it would have been cool if we had gotten some Cybertronian logos etched into the side of the wheels, but yeah, it's good enough. Now, for the cross section for this, for the car carrier mode, I like the fact that they went with a more traditional than with 86 Prime, 86 Magnus. Where 86 Magnus's trailer is just some sort of crazy sci-fi car carrier. This one is more traditional and contemporary, where we have all these little I-beams crisscross. We have, there's a piston right there that's etched in there. There's another piston there that's etched in because this ramp piece falls, so they put the pistons in the side to kind of show how it would fall. It use those pistons. The crisscrossed I-beam pattern is very well done, and I say I-beams because these are I-beams. They're thicker on the sides, and then in the center, they drop down. You may think it's waffling, but no, that is how these things look in real life. I have built a car carrier, and I have seen plenty of them before I went blind, and they have this stuff. And I appreciate that they didn't just paint the I-beams on there. They actually etched them in. Every one of these I-beams has an etch into it. There's a siege port right there. I didn't notice that one before. So that's one siege port. That's two siege ports. That's three so far. Three on one side. Now we're just going to continue with talking about this. So there's more structure, but towards the front, at the vehicle mode here, the front of the trailer mode, we start losing more of our, and I don't know why this came apart. Oh, nuts. Don't come apart, man. Stay together. Thank you. I don't know why we're losing a lot of the I-beam stuff towards the front. Instead, we get like this half I-beam. It feels like an I-beam that somebody cut in half down vertically. So, it's got only half the little eye. And down at the bottom area, we have what feels maybe the other half of that I-beam. But it's neat that you get the changing in textures as the materials change, because this front area it's a little more robust. So its I-beams actually have a filler in the middle of them. And they etch that filler out, so you can feel it with your fingernails. You can find the I-beams, and then you feel that there's an extra piece of metal for stability put inside of that. And that's just, wow, that is an attention to detail right there that I really do appreciate. Now, on the side here, we've got, I just said 3 siege ports, and we have 1, 2, counting the front of his truck mode where the weapons fit, 3. And then down here to the back, we have 4, so I counted that one, counted that one, counted that one. Then we have this one, 4, and then over here we have 5. So 10 siege pegs on each side of this vehicle mode, and 1, 2, where's that other one? It was somewhere over here. Let's see, where'd it go? Where'd it go? 3, there it is. 3 siege ports on each side, coming out to 6. So 10 pegs, 6 ports on each side. The top of the vehicle ramp area has 2 ports in it, and it does not have any pegs, though. It does have 2 ports, though, and they're actually towards the center area. Now, we'll talk about the top in a second, but first, let's continue wrapping our way around this vehicle mode. So we'll talk about past the trailer in the front area. We have, of course, his front wheel. Pardon me. His back wheels are below the trailer edge. I like how the trailer kind of gives you a cutout for those wheels there. That's kind of nice. And then, of course, the trailer has this little bit that comes down between the wheels, and it's got some hydraulics in it and it's got a little flat stepper. And I do think that would have been fun if they had actually allowed a little hinge there for this thing to be pulled down, so that whenever you pulled this trailer off of the Ultra Magnus, you could have done that. And I think that is one of my biggest gripes with this, is the fact that the trailer and Ultra Magnus aren't really made to separate, because I think it would have been a lot of fun if they could have separated. So moving up here to the front, and I know they can separate, but the roof ramps stay with Ultra Magnus, and that's what I'm talking about, separation. I think it'd been fun if the roof ramps and the back of the trailer mode separated, like with 86. That is not the case with RID though. RID, everything is Ultra Magnus. There's no separating. Now come over here to the front, and we've got his wonderful grill. I remember from the show this Ultra Magnus just having this really crazy awesome cow catcher thing on the front of his truck mode that I thought was just one of the coolest things in the world. And then this wonderful grill. And you have to remember, like, when this show came out, all we had seen, the newest stuff when it came to Transformers vehicle modes, was beast machines. They understand, when we got into 2001, we were coming out of beast machines. So this was just absolute candy for us, because it was just, trucks are back. Yeah. And they're back in force. And this is definitely an in-force truck. This was just the greatest car carrier ever. And I always wanted as a kid to see one of these just driving down the road, because like, it's so cool. He's got these wonderful windows here above his grill, and all of this just has this wonderful kind of slope to it, where it slopes sort of down to the ground, and there's just so many textures here. I love the vents. I love me some good vents, and this guy's got all the vents in this big old grill, and it's got so many vents in the grill. And we come up here to these windows, these big old Optimus Prime style windows, and it's a unique window shape because they kind of taper onto the sides, and they're also slanted. So the bottom of the window is further back into the vehicle mode than the top of the window. The top of the window is closer to the edge. The bottom window goes back a little bit, and I like those tilted windows. They kind of give just an intimidating presence about the front of this vehicle mode. And above it, we have the runner lights that you usually get with semi trucks, which isn't too bad. Runner lights are always fun. What's up, Cream? You have anything to add? No. Cream doesn't have anything to add. So that's kind of the front. The top of it's very smooth and sleek, but I really appreciate all of these little details. There's a smorgasbord of details on the front of this vehicle mode, on the sides of this vehicle mode, on the rear of this vehicle mode. It's just all the detail all the time, and the way it feels in the hand is exceptional. I appreciate how on the sides we get a little door cut out of this, and I think I mentioned it earlier about how I like this hinge. I mean, that may have been in a previous take, but the hinge on this truck mode at the front really gives the impression of mirrors. Like I know it's kind of rounded, but it gives the impression, the idea that the hinge is actually big mirrors hanging down so that you can see the backs. And I love that when they actually put hinges in places where other things should be, and they kind of give you the impression. Use your imagination, if you will, to make what those hinges should be. So I like that these hinges should be window mirrors, and it does feel like they're in the right place for mirrors to exist. So, thumbs up to you, engineers, for designing it that way. That I really appreciate that. Now, moving around here to the back, because we talked this side and the sides are the same. Now let's talk about the interior, and then we'll wrap up the video. Let's see, pull this piece down and this piece down, and we can pull these ramps down like we did earlier for Bone Crusher, but this time I'm going to feel inside, and I'm going to talk to you about what it feels like inside this. And the first thing I want to mention is the textures. This thing has got some exceptional textures, just the best in the world, in my opinion. And we've got a couple of siege ports in there, and down here we've got a couple of siege pegs. And this corrugated steel texturing, it just it works. It makes this Transformer just pop. It really, really does. And whenever you come up here to the ramp on top, you also get those textures, but you get something else. And that's why I saved the ramp for last, really, was because I wanted to mention this. This ramp has 3 channels cut into each. It's made up of 2 like roadways, and each roadway is split into 3 channels. And each channel has corrugated steel texturing on the inside of it, except for the middle channel. The middle channel doesn't really have that, but the side channels do. Corrugated, and in the middle we get some textures and stuff. It's like the middle is just a utility area where things go. Now, what I understand is this is designed to take normal size Transformers. Let's see, do we have another Transformer car? We've got Jazz here. Jazz is a good example. So Jazz is actually a unique example too, because the back of his vehicle is wider than the front of his vehicle. So where the front of his vehicle can go on either side, and it seems like it will use up channels number, yeah, it's not really the best sizing. I think that these channels would have been a little better if they had measured it for for the most common Transformers. Now for Jazz, his rear wheels fit into the center channels very well, and his front wheels do kind of fit into the front channels, but not really the best, but they do fit. So he can slide on the channels, and I think that's a really neat thing that you don't expect. You don't expect them to cut 3 separate channels for wheels into the top of this. I was expecting it to just be corrugated pattern all the way down. I wasn't expecting this attention to detail. And these little channels help lock the figure in because the wheel falls between these little ridges and it keeps the vehicle in place better. This guy is well thought out. The engineers that designed this, talking to you, Evan, and the people, I forget his name, but the man in Japan who really helps you out a lot, Suzuki. No, I'm not going to mispronounce it. Look, I appreciate you too. Japanese engineer that I'm having a hard time remembering the name of, but I know you worked closely with Evan on this one, and it came out exceptionally well. As a blind person, I really appreciate this, and as a blind person, after feeling it, my decision doesn't change. This thing it has too much attention to detail. It's perfect. It's an S-class figure all the way. This is one of those that I will classify as a work of love, because I can see they put more time and attention into this than they had to. And that tells me they wanted to make it look great for themselves because they love the figure and they want to make the best possible figure that they can. And when it comes to the vehicle mode for Ultra Magnus, because I say they accomplished that. I say that they managed to make the best possible vehicle mode Ultra Magnus that they could. So, S ranking all the way. Do you have anything to add, my Mandarin colored cat? Huh? Do you have anything? What? Huh? What? You're just going to move away from me? No, you're not going to roll away from me. He doesn't seem to care much about the Ultra Magnus. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. It's not his favorite figure, but it's mine. Definitely will have a special place in my collection for the rest of my time owning it, which I hope I keep it forever. Until next Prime, bye-bye for now.